Klinsmann comes to the near post. It's Klinsmann! Oh, Germany have scored!
And the fact that they put the colors so dominantly in this jersey changed a little bit the confidence level of our entire nation.
You're representing a nation, a community. You're part of something bigger than yourself.
I think we're always trying to be progressive with our designs and really tap into like the cultural conversations and design influences.
You're connected to specific designs of a jersey. You want to like your jersey that you wear.
Look what we have here. Iconic shirts.
Do you recognise that one, Jürgen?
Very, very nice, yeah.
But do you know whose shirt that is?
Yeah, it's Andy Bremer's shirt. It's a very, very special shirt because he's been one of the characters and leaders of that German side in 1990 that ended up winning the World Cup, and we miss him a lot.
There's an opening here, though, for Bremer. Players go to the near and far post. Klinsmann!
Bremer tries to float it into the far corner. Oh, that's fabulous!
Jürgen, it's an iconic shirt because it was the World Cup winning shirt for Germany in 1990, but I suppose it has other resonances, doesn't it?
Well, it has a huge, huge meaning. Obviously, one thing, you won the World Cup in 1990 with it, but it came to a time where, you know, Germany got reunited. Obviously, it happened all in late '89, and then, you know, both sides, East and West, came together and literally went all the way down to Italy and supported us. So this is why this jersey, I think, for a lot of Germans looking back, means the most. And in a funny way, it gave the Germans a lot of pride and a bit more confidence, actually, to come out with the colors when they saw it on the jersey, and suddenly they had it on flags. So the flags that were at San Siro during the World Cup, they were all over. And it was weird for us Germans to see that because we were always very timid after, obviously, what happened in World War II. We always felt still guilty about a lot of things. And then suddenly we were courageous enough, actually, to bring out our colors again. And the fact that they put the colors so dominantly in this jersey changed a little bit the confidence level of our entire nation.
It's amazing. So the shirt becomes a symbol of national pride.
Yep, it did definitely.
Jürgen, I have to ask you this. I realized that you wore different numbers throughout your career, right? With Germany, you wore 18.
So what happened was when I was called up to the national team by Franz Beckenbauer in '87, then the striker numbers 9 and 11, and those days they were taken, especially the number 9 by Rudi Völler.
Okay, so there was a strategy behind this.
And I had no chance to get that number 9. So then I figured out, okay, if in a tournament it's from 1 to 23. So if I'm not getting the 9, then I double the 9 and 9, and make it 18. It meant something to you, that number. You kind of felt like you connected in some way. Like the same is you're connected to specific designs of a jersey. You want to like your jersey that you wear. You want to kind of identify.
I think that's very important. The number, it really means something to you because that's your identity on the field. That's who you are. Right, I've always played with number 17, and then on the national team they gave me 3, and I was like, all right, we have to grow into 3 now. this is going to be my number.
Yeah. Stu Gower from Adidas. We're talking about iconic shirts. This shirt is iconic, but is it iconic because Germany won in it and people like Jürgen did great things in it, or is it great design, or do the two kind of meld?
I think the two are so interlinked. I think when you start building jerseys and making sure that they're seen on the pitch and then worn off the pitch, I think that helps create an iconic identity, but you do need sports moments like what Jürgen did in 1990 or the Dutch team did in 1988 to make jerseys truly iconic. The design team spends a lot of time thinking about our process and talks a lot about authenticity to progression, and I think that's why you see a lot of retro design in modern day jerseys, because we really look back at what was involved in certain cultural periods of time. So the 90s, late 80s, obviously it was a very, I guess, in vogue moment. And then how do we bring that through with contemporary design, which is why you see some of the patterns and graphics that you do on jerseys still through to today, right? I think it's really important that
so it references it, but it's also different. It's like post-modernity. You're referencing things from the past, but you're not doing an exact replica. You're not asking Jürgen to play in a shirt from 1950.
No, exactly.
Well, guys, I brought something special to me. I brought the 2016 Columbia jersey. And for me, it's extremely special because I suffered a knee injury right before that. So for me, it signifies a lot personally.
But it's a different cut, isn't it?
It is. It's a different cut. And that was another transition because we used to wear male jerseys. So this was actually the first year that they made women cut jerseys for us. It made us feel empowered because we finally had something that was ours, something made for us.
What I always was wondering, the psychology of the colors for jerseys, especially for goalkeepers. Is there any thought process of goalkeepers or teams coming to you guys and saying, we want a specific colors because that color is a little bit more frightening when the goalkeeper comes out, or it gives him a little bit more aggressiveness in his way or in his look?
I think there is or there was for a period of time around colours of goalkeeper jerseys and making themselves look bigger in the goal, to just how that would then impact a striker or a forward when they were going to finish in front of goals.
I mean, goalkeeping jerseys, for example, in the 1950s were literally roll neck or polo neck, knitted thick green things that must have been incredibly hot and heavy.
I think what you saw in like the 70s and that previous period was like heavy cotton, which would also hold all of the water when players were playing, and it wouldn't be the easiest to perform in. And then as you go through to sort of the late 80s and 90s, it's where you saw the introduction of polyester, bigger graphics, wider graphics, all of that, which helped performance. And now we're sort of way more into like the sustainable side of jersey design tech.
Uniforms and jerseys are evolving because now that it's a fashion statement as well. I feel like brands think about, okay, how are we going to sell this to the person walking down the street and make them a football fan?
But mentioning the fashion's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously replica jerseys or football fans identifying with their teams wearing the jerseys, but it also is something that's just in streetwear now. Is there a difference between the design approach for technically brilliant jerseys for players and that which works well in the street? Or by definition, is there a kind of symbiosis between the two?
Yeah, I think they're just naturally quite connected. It's really about making sure that we're connected to the teams or federations and people that we're trying to represent, or people who are going to wear those jerseys will represent their nations within that.
But it's so interesting the influence that these jerseys have, whereas in the 2018, the Nigeria jersey, you had people that never even watched a football game in their life become fans just because of that jersey.
So what are the most popular shirts in North America on the streets?
Mexico's a big one based on the diversity of the country and population here. I think otherwise, obviously, Inter Miami and Argentina has been massive over the past two years. Yeah, I think I've definitely never seen jerseys like that, or the volume of jerseys being worn in the country. I think it's sort of been crazy, but indicative to sort of having an athlete like Leo in the jersey.
It's interesting with Argentina because Argentina never really, you have a feeling that it never changed really, right? Even if they're different designs.
Well, in the World Cup, they were playing with the purple jersey, and that became a very popular jersey.
The baby blue and white stripes again, it's an iconic, not necessarily just jersey, but colours of the country, and they've had a huge amount of iconic moments in that. Well,
Brazil hasn't changed that much, has it?
No,
apart from the radical redesign in the 1950s after the trauma of losing to Uruguay. I mean, that's a shirt where tradition is really important, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that's what's the best thing about international football in a way. I think when you look at moments in time, whether it's the Euros, World Cups, Copa Americas across the games, I think it's very special. It creates moments in time for nations to come together, and having that volume of people supporting one team is very unique.
They think it's all over. It is now. It's 4.
How do you feel as players seeing fans wearing your jersey?
I love it. I love it because I love fashion as well. So the fact that we're mixing culture and football together into one world, it's incredible to me.
Yeah, it gives you even more kind of a feeling of responsibility. So when you kind of approach the stadium before a game and you look out and the people kind of stream towards the stadium and you see some kids wearing maybe your number, your jersey, it pumps you up, you feel like, I better deliver today. I better do a good job today. So that feeling is special when you see that. Yeah,
because now you have a responsibility greater than yourself. You're representing a nation, a community. You're part of something bigger than yourself. So it's incredible to see kids with your shirt on, or little girls at least, because in Colombia, you didn't have a lot of girls playing football back then. You know, so seeing these girls actually seeing me and being like, oh, I can be like her when I grow up, that's an incredible feeling.
Stu, Chelsea, Jurgen, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.